When news broke that Russell Westbrook was coming home to LA, everyone immediately started scratching their heads and rubbing their chins, trying to figure out if a starting lineup featuring 3 elite players that don't space the floor well could possibly work. And that's before we even contemplate what the chemistry will be like in the locker room and if head coach Frank Vogel can work his magic on the defensive end for a 3rd straight season. Whatever might happen, it's going to be a fascinating ride, with plenty of twists and turns, on their way to what Lakers fans hope is yet another championship. While Russ is still an ISO-heavy player, it's clear he's going to have to take a back seat when LeBron is in the game alongside him. We saw Schroeder get the 2nd most ISOs just above AD last year, and the vast majority of them were when LeBron was on the bench. Expect to see opportunities where the offense sets multiple screens on the weak side, and Russ taking advantage of all that focus to just blow by his man and get to the rim. One good thing from less isolations for Russ is that it'll mean less awkward misses at the rim, something that's plagued him for most of his career, particularly the drives off a multi-dribble ISO. Of course, with players like Anthony Davis on the court with him, some of these misses can turn into secondary assists when the rebounds get cleaned up and sent through the rim hard. We did see some decent evidence of Russ being able to play off Bradley Beal in Washington, which is really when he's at his best, letting another star initiate the action, suck the defense in with their gravity, and then kick to Russ on the wing, where he can be devastating from this angle while attacking closeouts. You can expect Westbrook to get a lot of opportunities from kickouts from the low post, something he's never really done before, so it remains to be seen how well he'll adapt. The Lakers utilize LeBron in the high post a lot, with a split in the corner between Schroeder and AD. This should get him opportunities to attack when the defense is drawn to the cut by Davis, but it does require Russ to set good screens. I imagine this will be the smoothest part of his transition, as long as he's willing to take a 2nd or 3rd seat and let the game come to him. In the pick and roll department, Russ struggled mightily last year, having to take a backseat to Beal and not get as much spacing as he did in Houston, where he did much better. The problem is, it doesn't look like the Lakers are going to provide much spacing with shooters in this roster. Malik Monk had an amazing year-over-year improvement, but is that sustainable? Wayne Ellington is a solid shooter that will provide some much-needed spacing for the Big Three, and Carmelo Anthony has only 2 seasons in his career above 40% from 3, including last year, but he did shoot only 38% on his catch-and-shoot threes. So expect the lane to be clogged as defenses dare everyone else to shoot the ball in an effort to shut down Russ, AD, and LeBron. I don't think it's going to matter on a lot of possessions though. LeBron is too good at controlling the action and setting people up. And it's exactly the same kind of control you have when finding tickets by using SeatGeek. It is by far the best place on the internet to shop for tickets to any sporting event, concert, and even the theater. They find tickets from all over the web and grade the prices to let you know you're getting the best deal. Lakers games are going to be must-see events, so fire up the SeatGeek app, get some Staples Center tickets, and you can brag about how you knew this team was going to be better than everyone else. Even better, nudge the guy next to you and tell him you saved $20 off your first purchase when you used my code BBALL. So get in the game with SeatGeek and you can have a seat to watch up close and personal the play that worked so well for Russ in Houston called elbow get, where he'd catch the ball at the elbow with his back to the basket and they'd set a ball screen for him there. So close to the hoop puts enormous pressure on the defense, and if it's AD screening for him, expect a ton of easy buckets. Another potential pitfall is Russ's propensity for turning the ball over. Of course, this happens to everybody, particularly when you handle the rock as much as Russ does. But even adjusting for that, the volume and more importantly type of turnovers are very problematic. Most of these are from off-target passes made with questionable decision-making to say the least, despite being a secondary ball handler behind Bradley Beal, who had a team-high 33.1 usage rate compared to Russ at 29.5. However, that usage rate is sure to go down even further in LA as LeBron and AD get more opportunities. I am curious to see how LeBron will react to some of these Russ passes though. Defensively, we've seen Frank Vogel create a hole that is much better than the sum of their parts, and he'll have his work cut out for him as Russ likes to sag towards the lane in an effort to grab defensive rebounds. I don't want to make it sound like Westbrook doesn't make plays on this end. He gets his share of steals with plenty of energy to bound around the court, forcing turnovers. He does have a distinct issue with his focus keenly on the ball only, leading to many possessions of suboptimal defense when he helps from one pass away, allowing the easy pass, easy shot to good shooters behind the three-point arc. It wasn't that hard to find so many clips of this, and with this type of defense happening so consistently, I suspect we'll see more of the same in LA unless Vogel can somehow cure him of this type of overhelp, which directly leads to some of the highest quality threes you can take at the NBA level. That same laser focus on the ball also contributes to him losing his man on the weak side as well. And if his man finds him away from the ball with some space to cut, watch for more open threes. One of the big keys for this to work is harmony amongst the big three. And having seen LeBron get upset with teammates for years over similar defensive mistakes, what happens if Russ keeps committing them? Put Carmelo on the floor, and you'll probably see even more fireworks from Lakers opponents. What we do know is that Russ is an upgrade over Schroeder. And had AD not gotten injured against the Suns in the playoffs, the Lakers probably advanced to at least the second round, so expect a better finish than last year. But to get all the way to the finals in a conference with an incredible amount of very tough teams, it's unclear to me whether mixing and matching a roster with so many players 30 years of age or older is going to work well enough for a deep playoff run. I know we'll get a bunch of pretty highlights for sure, but you'll need a lot more cohesiveness and teamwork to overcome the young guns in the West. And while I don't see how that's possible, I've also learned over the years to never bet against LeBron James.